Hi, this is Suzanne in Ohio. I have a little project share for you today. Well, I know it's late in the season. Fall is already upon us. Although here in Ohio, Northeast Ohio, where I'm at, we're late. We have very few tips of the trees even turning, and we should have been in full swing by now. But warmer weather later in the season slows it down a little bit. So there's a good chance the leaves will just turn brown and fall off. Who knows? Mother Nature has her own way. But these two fall journals, I know I just completed them, but had little bumps in the road, and I was kind of slow getting at it. But these two fall journals are kind of special, I think. They have fabric covers, and each one of them are different, but the insides are pretty much the same. So I'd like to show them to you. So let's take the binding off because it's easier to see. They're both tied with just some orange colored soft netting and stretchy. And there's the two covers. So let's look at one at a time and I'll show you the covers because um, they each have a lot to say about it. Let me get you down just a little closer for some of the viewing. Okay, so this is a fabric collaged cover. I started out with an embroidery that I had done on an old vintage linen, and the original tatting edge is still on there. And then I hodgepodged it or collaged it with all kinds of scraps of fall type fabrics. So, and then I overlaid it with lace. And then I mounted some of my fabric appliques. And these leaves are all my fabric appliques. And they're made with painted fabric. I painted them. And then I free motion sewed and then cut them out. And as I applied them to this journal cover, I padded them a little bit. So they're kind of puffy, three-dimensional. All the collage pieces are attached via sewing, and I did a lot of rambling curly Q hand stitching with embroidery thread, and everything's secure down there. So I just really loved making that cover. It's bright, but it's not too gaudy. So let me show you the inside, and let's get you down just a little closer. Whoops, went the wrong way. Okay, so when you open it up, here on the inside is a fabric pocket, and I named this one Fall Potpourri. Although it had the name Autumn out here, I thought with all the collection of colors, potpourri was a good indication. There's two signatures in this journal, and each one is covered with a colored cardstock, and all of the little glue-ons, which form either a pocket or a tuck spot or a belly band, are from a series of artwork that I did several years ago. When you open the first signature cover, there's a fabric pocket here done in fall fabric. And this is one of the ink transfer, plant transfer pages that I had done, and the colors just went beautiful. So here's another example of these little, I would say drawings. And here's the story behind those. I did one fall series of drawings for a scrapbook packet. The company up in Cleveland that produced a monthly scrapbook packet for people that were in their club. They asked me to do the one for, I can't remember if it was October or November. It might have been. Now this journal is full of nice pages, Some are scrap pages, meaning different types of papers, and then a combination of my hand-dyed polymer dyed papers and then coffee stain papers. So it's one or the other. There's a lot of fabric trim and some beads. Not very many, but a few. Now, I would call this journal half-dressed. There's lots of room for writing, mounting photos, doing your own artwork, making your own tags. And here's a print. This is a print of some of my leaves that I print, excuse me, print them off on cardstock, or not cardstock, but presentation paper, and then cut them out. So that forms a nice tuck spot there. And then if you can see, this is beautiful graining on this paper. That was my polymer dyed papers. So I'll just flip quick. You can get a good look at all the little goodies in here. That drawing was not from the series, but it went so well because here at the end of the season, all the wild grape leaves are starting to deteriorate. Polymer dyed paper. A fall scene from an Ideals book, and it was double-sided, yippee. So I put that in the middle of that signature. And then this will be the last half of the first signature here. This drawing was not from that series either, but it went well too. Deteriorating grape leaves. And more little drawings. And I made this one into a belly band. That was a border, originally drawn as a border for that scrapbook company. And this drawing was something I did for myself. It's quite large, but I was able to get a decent print of it. And it's a lot of all these drawings that you're seeing in this book, I originally did on muslin with permanent marking pens. I can't remember the brand name, but I had a set of like 120 different colors. And I did a lot of work on muslin. And let me see if I can get you down closer just to get an idea of what these drawings look like. They really are pretty. Let's see. There you go. So, back out here. All right, on the flap of the first signature on the inside is another pocket, fabric pocket. On this side, tuck spot, all those little drawings. And then the first page of the second signature, fabric pocket, tuck spot. That was a watercolor. The pumpkin was so handsome, I had to put it in here. Found papers, lots of found papers. Wassail. I don't know how many of you know about wassail, but it's a fall drink. It's different than mulled cider, but it's real similar. I'm sure you can find a recipe for it online. We make it a lot at my beauty shop in the fall season. We just let the customers drink all they want. But it's a combination of cranberry juice and apple juice and orange juice, and then you put it through a percolator with spices. As you can see, plenty of spaces. This was a good find in the Ideals book because it had asters, which are the last of the season, and on the other end, if you noticed, or you will notice, it had bittersweet on it. Beautiful fall tree scene, all in browns. There it is, the bittersweet, and it was printed in such a way it just worked out perfect to fold the page in half. These are little tuck spots, stoppers I call them, beads. And again, I call this only half dressed, but it's still quite nice. It's got a lot of interest in and of itself. By the time you add your own tags and writings, it'll be just wonderful. And then a fabric pocket there. And on the back, a tuck spot. And I love this fabric. I found it at the thrift store. There's a big string. I'll have to cut that off. But I just fell in love with it. And then when I got it home, I realized it was a Susan Wingett print. Joanne Fabric carries some of her stuff. So I said to my sister, no wonder I love that. It's Susan Wingett. I love her artwork. So there's your first journal with the embroidery and the fabric collage. And then the next one, bring that over here. Okay, this one, see if I can get you a close-up of this cover. I'm afraid my light might be washing it out. It's got plenty of color to it. But the name of this one is Frost on the Pumpkins. I did a few fabric pumpkin appliques that literally looked like they had frost on them. So I laid those on the scanner, scanned them, and printed them off on muslin. So all of this is fabric, but it's not the original applique. So the fall pumpkins, frosty pumpkins, and then when you open it up, the picture goes around to the back side and a little pumpkin and leaves here. And all these little fibers and twirlies just set it off like a real pumpkin patch. So Frost on the Pumpkin is this one. And when you open it up, fabric inside and a fabric pocket right here. And pretty much more the same, but I'm going to go ahead and show it because if anybody's interested in it, they'll want to know exactly what's in it. I'm going to put these on my Etsy site later today. Another transfer print, and I will mention this is done with inks and plants, and I got the idea from Jibineri. That girl's amazing. So lots of plain pages, found papers, and a set of pretty much the same little drawings, but of course, they're in here in all kinds of different orders. So I'll go quick since you've already seen most of this, just in a different way. I say I'll go quick, but I'm real fumbly this morning. Pretty fiddly. Tuck spot. Down paper. Another Ideals print. Isn't that beautiful? Couldn't have been better. Very seldom do I find pages in my Ideals books that are pictures back to back. But that one worked out wonderful, and they always turn out to be good inserts in the signatures if they've got something interesting on both sides. I have a huge assortment too of these fall printed fabrics from projects I had done a long time ago. So I just had such a nice selection to choose from to put the tabs and things on this book. So see, there's plenty of page or space here for you to mount other things. First page, inside page of the second signature. Big maple leaf as a tuck spot. You know, the nice thing about these found papers is I tried to choose ones that already had some kind of lines on them, so you can write right on top of them and just give you a little foundation for staying straight. I'm no good at writing and staying straight, so I like to have something on my page. But what am I talking about? I don't really journal. I just don't. I love the idea. I have stacks of things I've started, never followed through with, but I'd love to see when people have filled it up with like thoughts of the day and remains of the day. And this was a beautiful foggy fall morning. That picture's lovely. And almost at the end, I believe. Okay. Okay, there we go. The last signature cover in the second journal. I didn't put any pocket on there, although you could. I just put one here. And there's the beads. Okay, one more look at the cover. And then when you turn it over, there's your little pumpkin vignette on the back. This is about a totally soft cover, and it's about 3 layers, if not more, of fabric with some pellon in the middle. And it's soft, beautiful feel to it. I thought about putting cardstock in there, but you know, once cardstock gets bent, then it's bent. So I put pellon instead, which it makes it a total fiber cover no matter how thick it is. And then this one, I'll flip this over again. You got one large maple leaf on the back mounted on all this collage work. All right, that's my 2 fall journals. If you're interested, go to my Etsy site. They'll be posted later today. But even go there, even if you just want to see some close-ups for ideas. And thank you for watching. I appreciate everybody. Thank you for my subscribers. I'm still so fairly new that I think I barely have more than 100 at this point. But I thank every one of them for signing up. And I'll see you again soon.